Who are these people?
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these?
All right, welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Major Rivera alongside Miss Witchy Perfect, and we're here once again to do some discussion of pro wrestling. So, how are you doing?
Hanging in there as best I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you want to start with first? Because I have a lot to say, especially about the Cena promo.
Yeah.
I think it sucked. And I actually skipped through it because I was like, okay, boring. All right, look, CM Punk is CM Punk. John Cena is not CM Punk. Okay. He was nothing but, like I said, a whiny little bitch. Here we go again with the whiny little bitchness. It was like, and Punk is selling it like death. I mean, honestly, that's what he was supposed to do. But I mean, come on, John Cena, you are not CM Punk.
Nope.
I couldn't even watch the segment all the way through because I was just like, ugh. And I was at work too doing it. I was like at work and I'm like, really, Cena? Really? Mm-hmm. And I just skipped right through it. And of course, it was an R-Truth match, Ron Killings. And it didn't make any sense. He hit him with a belt and then the ref calls for the bell. How about counting him out? They were outside the whole time. So I didn't get the match. I didn't get the DQ. And then, of course, Punk comes out. Yay. And yeah, this could be because I'm a CM Punk mark. Great. I don't care. CM Punk has something that I didn't see before until now. And he just kind of grows on you. He's kind of like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the whole thing. He's just sitting there on the belt, or on the turnbuckle, and John Cena I didn't like the promo. I literally skipped through it.
It felt like it was literally like a not a word for word ripoff, but everything that Punk said back in 2011 about Cena, he kind of repeated it back to him while he went through it, while he was laying on a table, like what happened in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see here. So I figured that we would get started because next Saturday's Night of Champions. Next
Right.
Saturday afternoon, in fact, since it's in Saudi Arabia. So I think it's a 1 o'clock start time in the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we would preview this real quick, and then we'll go from there because there's a couple other things that need to be discussed too. Um, so the Queen and King of the Ring tournament finals are taking place at this show.
I thought
So
we would talk
far,
about that too, and sort of like not review it, but preview it.
yeah, that's which I forgot about. But there's the King and Queen of the Ring tournament finals. We already know Randy Orton's in the final for the second straight
Mhm.
year, and Asuka's in the final for the women. We will find out on Raw and SmackDown who's going to be in the final next week.
I say Cody
Uh,
because
so
honestly, I mean, Cody has to be in that, you know, head run, right? To get the
mhm.
belt back from Cena. Though, like I said, I would like to see Punk get it, but I don't know. Everyone's like, Punk's not gonna get it. I don't know. Okay, whatever. But I just,
So it's Randy Orton against Blank right now. We'll find out on Raw. I guess going to have
mhm.
that match between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Whoever wins advances to the final to face Randy Orton at Night of Champions.
And poor
So,
Cody didn't even get to speak. Everyone else was
uh-huh.
talking, like, oos,
Mhm.
Jey Uso was talking, and then Sami Zayn came out and started talking, and then of course Randy Orton comes out. But something I saw on X actually made me laugh when they were talking about the whole it's like Karrion Kross had a vision of the future where Sami Zayn loses to, of course, Randy Orton. And of course, I mean, he was right, so
Mhm.
yay, were we getting that match faster than we thought?
Yeah.
So your thoughts?
Um. You know, that's that's the way it was set up. But um. So yeah, it's probably going to be Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton. And the female final, Asuka's in it, and I think on Raw also Roxanne Perez versus Jade Cargill to decide who goes to the final.
Uh Probably Perez will probably pull it out. I could see Judgment Day maybe coming in and interfering. It's possible. It's possible.
Maybe,
I think they're strapping a rocket to Asuka. I don't
yeah,
like Asuka. I don't take her seriously because none of her moves made me go, wow, it was more like just, oh boy, another Japanese schoolgirl bullshit. If that's what you're into, guys, great, but I'm really not. So Asuka did not really impress me, but I think they are going to strap a rocket to her and give her a major push. I could see her being Queen of the Ring.
hmm yeah, I could see it too. She just came back from injury, so it's a possibility that they could
And poor Liv Morgan, did you
give
see
her
it? She
that push.
located her shoulder or
Yeah,
arm,
I did see that. Yeah.
and she's gonna need surgery.
hmm
Yeah, so here we go again. And I don't really like Liv Morgan, but please get well, Liv Morgan. I hate to see anyone, get an injury like that. And no wonder they wouldn't show her. The camera would not show Liv Morgan on Raw. I think we were talking about this because we were live tweeting during that show,
hmm
or DMing actually. But like we were talking back and forth, and I was like, "Oh, they're not showing what happened to Liv Morgan. They're not showing her. What's going on?" Usually, if that was an angle, they would show her grabbing her arm and stuff. They would show her, like in pain and stuff, and they weren't showing her at all.
Yeah,
Not at
because
all.
and it was off of an accident, just like a
Hmm.
standard move. You put your hands down to catch yourself falling, and her shoulder popped out, and it looked kind of gruesome. So now they're saying she needs a 3 to 4 months to recover, which means she's out for the entire summer. Which
Right.
we're not going to see her again until after SummerSlam, most likely. So unfortunate, but
I mean, that's
there isn't
wrestling,
much.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
wrestling. Yeah, and like I said, not a big Liv Morgan fan, but again, I don't like anyone getting injured, especially that one when they actually showed the slow-mo of her arm falling down. I was like, ooh, ugh. I kind of did that cringe kind of thing, like, ah.
Yeah. So let's see here. The next match has Jacob Fatu defending his U.S. title versus Solo Sikoa.
I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu only because again they strapped a rocket to him and they're giving him this big push. They haven't really done anything with Solo Sikoa, but they could be changing it. I don't know. Maybe they want to elevate Jacob. So to give Solo Sikoa the U.S. belt, I mean, of course you had LA Knight in there, yeah. And of course he came out and he was talking about Seth Rollins, and I expected Seth Rollins to come out. Like, I think Seth Rollins is going to be moving to SmackDown only because, like I said, I don't think he's going to go after Gunther's title. I think that's beneath him now. He's had that one before. I think he's going after Cena. Because he literally, and I know Dave and I were talking about this.
Yeah.
D from Deconstructing Toptics, my big brother. And I recommend him. Please check out his podcast. He was saying this could be a swerve. I was like, yeah, it could be a swerve, but I honestly, Rollins came out and said, I want the winner of Cena and Punk. Well, if people don't think that Punk's going to take the belt because what they think is Rollins will probably come in during that match and put his money in the bank cash it in, and boom, he's the champion. So Cena nor Punk could be the champion. It could be Seth Rollins. And then that would mean that Seth Rollins is going to come out. But did you see SmackDown at all?
Yeah, I watched it, some of it.
Okay. So the whole thing where LA Knight came out and was like, you guys screwed me, so I screwed you back, and then I screwed another one of you, and then you screwed me out of the King of the Ring. They screwed him out of the Money in the Bank, getting the Money in the Bank. So he screwed them in the, King of the Ring. They screwed him in the King of the Ring. So he screwed him right back. I don't know what they're planning with LA Knight. I don't know if they're elevating him or if he's just going to get people over from that one. But it was a great promo and I liked it because when Paul Heyman came out, he wanted Seth Rollins to come out. Seth Rollins was like, I'm coming, but I think Seth Rollins is more focused on, Cena and Punk.
Yeah.
And, here comes Paul Heyman and he's like, his voice went higher than it was supposed to. So of course, LA Knight makes fun of him. I was like, sitting at work going, ooh, that was good. I mean, I like Paul Heyman as a heel. He is a true heel. And I think he does so much better as a heel himself that I think it's just phenomenal what he does because it is so believable. And that, he's like, dope boo, wait, we're going to do this again. And LA Knight's like, shut the fuck up. Just let's go. All right, let's go, old man. Tell me why you're out here. That kind of thing. And of course, Paul would get mad whenever they would boo Seth Rollins, even though they would sing his song and stuff. So I actually enjoyed that segment because, I mean, Paul Heyman, phenomenal as a heel. And I see why he was with Roman Reigns for so long and CM Punk for so long. And of course, LA Knight brought that up, oh, you're just going to move to the next person. As soon as Seth Rollins, outlives his usefulness, you'll just move on to someone else, probably someone younger. And I thought, oh, Braun Breaker, probably. Because they are trying to strap a rocket to Braun Breaker and they're trying to send him to, higher means. Great segment. Loved it. Can't say enough great things about LA Knight. And I'm not really an LA Knight person.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy. But I'm not not really an LA Knight person, but it actually, like, I like the whole promo. Like I said, they were feeding off each other, him and Paul, and really getting into it. So I liked it.
Well, getting back to the U.S. title match, I could see Solo getting this belt, but because of interference from his lackey,
Mateo.
yeah, and we also they've been featuring the other Fatu Hikaleo in dark matches recently. He's a 7-footer. He's huge,
Yeah.
and they've been featuring him in dark matches. So I'm guessing that he might debut soon in order to help Jacob or help Solo win this belt, and then give Jacob as a babyface some heels to beat up and getting back at Solo in the U.S. title eventually.
Right.
So that could be what ends up happening there. That's why I think Solo's gonna probably get this belt. Let's see. We also got an Intercontinental title match between Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. So,
I think Styles is just gonna put Dominic over. I don't really. I mean, this to me, AJ's been world champion.
mm-hmm.
So this to me seems like he's just gonna get Dominic over. He's gonna put him over.
Mm-hmm.
This is really beneath AJ Styles. I mean, I hate to say that, but he is kind of aging.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I think Dominic takes it because, again, we have an aging AJ Styles. The Intercontinental belts beneath him. Dominic is really starting to, honestly, and I said this on X, that I think the fans have really turned Dominic. They are the ones responsible for cheering Dominic. And now, of course, Liv Morgan is out. So you have Rochelle, as Jim Cornette would say. I really, I'm really going to, I'm picking Dominic because, I mean, the fans want him to be propelled forwards. They really want to see him climb that ladder. No pun intended. I honestly think that it's Dominic all the way.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see AJ Styles winning this belt. I don't know why he would anyway. So he's probably going to put over Dom with some interference from Judgment Day to protect him. So as long as it's a good match, that's probably what ended up happening. All right, the main event is we're gonna have a WWE title match between John Cena and CM Punk.
I think you already know my feelings on this. Come on, CM Punk. I agree that he is like the people's champ, and I kind of see where Cena was going with it, but like Cena has no room to talk. He's been corporate the whole time. CM Punk actually, took a stance on, Palestinian. I hate to bring politics into it, but I mean, he's bringing it into the wrestling spotlight. He was at that No Kings rally in Chicago. Again, CM Punk is showing up and being the people's champion. No pun to Rock. Because The Rock was a fake people's champion. I don't think people took The Rock seriously. Even back when he was supposedly people's champ. I liked seeing this, except for the fact that Cena was just boring. It just said, I'm like, boring.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, oh, you say blah, 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 but you've been in a company and you're a capitalist and blah, blah, blah. What does that have to do with anything, Cena? What does that have to do with the price of eggs in China? You're not actually bringing up anything that would hurt CM Punk. We all know that you all are baby faces and heels working for the same person. We know that. Kayfabe is definitely dead.
It seems Cena also addressed Punk's hypocrisy on Saudi Arabia a little bit, which I found to be, oh, you wouldn't go, now you're going to follow me or something like that, because try to become WWE champion. And I'm like, oh, again, I'm not really bothered by that.
Right. Well, you could still have a moral stance on Saudi Arabia and still visit. It doesn't mean he has to kiss the Prince, whatever the hell his name is. He doesn't have to kiss his feet.
No,
I mean, I get it why Punk is doing it. He's doing it because, again, it's a lot of money. I'm sure he's being paid. But that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that Cena was sitting there boring. I'm just like, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna fucking turn the channel or something. I didn't watch SmackDown, live. I always watch it on YouTube.
I watch it.
But
because I do the show on Fridays, and By the time I'm done, I'm tired, so
Right.
I watch clips, so I don't really watch SmackDown live. It's rare that I catch it live, but yeah, I predict John Cena's going to retain because and somehow screw Punk out of this belt. But as long as it's a good match, I'm okay with it. But Cena hasn't had a good match since he started this run, so it's like I don't know how Punk's gonna drag a good match out of this John Cena, you know.
Of course, because he goes, punch me
Mm-hmm.
a little louder, Cena. They didn't hear you in the back row.
So right now, there is a unlikely possibility that Seth Rollins could cash in on either Cena or Punk after the match. If Punk wins and he cashes in on Punk, then that sets up their feud for the rest of the year for the title.
Right.
But if he doesn't, there's also the possibility of Seth cashing in at Saturday night's main event, because we do have to talk about Bill Goldberg coming out and finally getting his retirement match against Gunther for the world title.
I know you predicted this, and I was just like,
Mhm.
And I know how you feel
Mhm.
about Goldberg. It's the same way I feel about Goldberg. But honestly, I don't know. I don't see Seth Rollins going for that belt anymore. I just think it's like so beneath him because, like I said, he said, I'll take the winner of Punk and Cena. So that could happen. Yes, definitely could happen.
Yeah.
I just don't foresee it, unless they are saying, Seth, why don't you come in? We can protect Goldberg, maybe make him champ, and then he can maybe lose to you or whatever. And then, Goldberg can go with his head up saying, well, I was champ and he screwed me out of it or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
fuck Goldberg. That's what I have to say.
Mhm.
But I honestly think that, it could be a swerve like that. It could be a swerve like that, honestly. Thank you, Bad Cookies.
I
What?
hit the like button on my way in. I promise I won't bring up that one thing I always bring up with Miss Witchy.
Why? We were talking about, did we say something about Jericho?
Yeah,
And I
that was
went,
last
we
night.
were talking about like the Ayatollah, and I went, of
Yeah.
rock and rolla.
Mhm.
Oh, you'd be so proud of me, Bad Cookies. Oh,
Thank you
damn.
for pushing the like button, though. Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, Bill Goldberg finally got his little retirement match he's been angling for years now. He hasn't wrestled since like 21 or 22 in WWE. Now it's
Wow.
25. It's been 3 years, and they
And he's
finally
not
gave him
getting any
his
younger.
retirement match. He's like 55 or 56.
Exactly.
He came
He's
out
not
on
getting
Raw.
any younger.
He came out on Raw and he did his entrance. The punches and the kicks. It looks like he can barely move. He just kind of did them, but it's like, yeah, you need to retire.
Yeah, so here's Gunther. Now he's going to have to
Mhm.
try to get a good match out of Bill Goldberg.
But
Will
it's not.
he or will he?
He won't, because it's not going to be. It's not going to be a match. It'll probably be at most 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes at most at the end of Saturday night's main event. And maybe we'll see Seth Rollins. If Goldberg wins, we'll see Seth Rollins cash in on him and become champion that way, and then brag for the rest of his career that he pinned Goldberg in his last match. So,
That would be great it's something to take home for Gunther, I think.
if
I'm
Gunther
not
beats
really interested
Goldberg,
in seeing this match other than Gunther beat the crap out of Goldberg. I would laugh, honestly.
yeah,
I'd be like,
Gunther beating Bill Goldberg is not. It's something I would like to see, but I'm thinking that WWE might just hand Goldberg this belt as like a retirement present, and then have a tournament to crown a new champion. And then Triple H's obsession with fatal 4-way matches gets to be booked again in the tournament. So
ugh.
it's what he did for the King of the Ring tournament.
I
And clean.
know.
This is
Why
a bunch
can't
of
they just
fatal
have it the
4-way
way it
matches.
was? Brett won the first one and he won the second one too, right?
Yeah,
I'm talking about 93 when
he
Kurt put him
won.
over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what are these? I hated these fatal 4-ways. I honestly didn't like them because the people I wanted to win didn't. Not that I wanted Sammy to win or anything. I think he should have a match with Karrion Kross. That's what I want to see. That's what I've been pushing this man for, on X. Like, come on, WWE, let's go.
Yeah, which they've actually on Raw. Sammy says, as soon as I'm done with this King of the Ring tournament, me and you are gonna have a match.
Yep.
So he finally have a match on Raw, Karrion Kross. So he's
finally. It's like, come on. And honestly, that's why I think he started following me. For all those who don't know, Karrion Kross actually followed me, and I was very, very excited because I love Karrion Kross. I'm trying to save up money for his shirt, for a shirt for getting a shirt for him from him. And I'm trying to save it up right now. So if you would like to book a reading with me, $30, send me your questions and yada yada. But that was just a super plug for my I started a new tarot channel. For those who don't know, if you would like a personal reading with me, it's $30 per question. So you can send it through my Cash App or my PayPal. If you use PayPal, please make sure you use the family and friends, and then send me your question, and I will work diligently to get you answers.
Yep. So let's see here. What else? So it'll be Goldberg Gunther on July 12th during the Saturday night's main event, which is the same night as AEW's All In WrestleMania style card. So WWE is really like they're basically putting up all Goldberg's retirement versus All In. So
what did you hear on Jim Cornette's show recently? They had the ratings for Dynamite, and Collision, and they weren't very good. It was like 595. It was an average. That was an average.
Yeah, that's they had AEW had their big Grand Slam Mexico show in Arena Mexico, which is
right.
a huge
I think you
deal.
were watching it and you're saying this is shit.
Yeah, I watched some of it. And all right, so there was a random 14-man tag, literally 14-man. So 7-on-7, basically. So 7 guys with the 7 guys. I don't know whose baby faces are heel at this point. I don't think Tony Khan even knows.
I don't think anybody knows at this point.
Who's the baby faces or the heels. He just put 14 guys together randomly and put him out there in a tag match. By the way, there were no tags. There were no anything. It was just a million miles an hour, a bunch of moves. Nobody tagged in or out, and a finish. So like, that's not a tag team match then. That's just 14 guys in the ring. Not at the same time. Some of them were in the apron and stuff, but they were just moves for no reason and no tags. I don't remember seeing a single tag in that opening match. So it's like whoever produced this match or agent, whatever it is, you need to be fired. And the next one, what was it? And I don't remember. There were so many like. Eventually, oh no, I'm sorry. Right, Hangman Adam Page came out first to open the show and cut a promo in broken Spanish. One of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
Yeah, Jim was talking about that. He's like, no one could have fucking understand him. What were they doing? What was he doing? I was like, I don't know. I'm glad I didn't watch it.
He came out and cut a promo in broken Spanish, and then he's like, what I understood, it was a pandering, rambling promo about how great Mexicans are and how Mexicans are the hardest workers I've ever seen. And I've worked with Mexicans in my other jobs, they're great people. It's like, dude, stop pandering. I know you're a babyface, but even the pandering gets too much. You're just pandering to the Mexican crowd. And then he said something, I remember correctly, something about ICE and how there's discrimination and stuff against Mexicans here in the U.S. And I'm like, I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to watch a horrible wrestling show.
Yeah, right.
7-on-7 tag sounds like something P. Diddy would be into. Okay, thank you for that
image.
Yeah, so that opened the show, and then the 14-man tag came out. And I forgot also, Brody King, one of the participants in the tag match, decided to come out with an Abolish ICE t-shirt. I'm like,
trying too hard, guys. Trying too hard.
Because the narrative in the on the internet is that WWE is the racist company and AEW is more inclusive and they care about minorities and stuff. So that's the narrative going around in the IWC. So they're trying to lean into that narrative by saying, hey, look, we care. Look, abolish ICE, see? And by the way, Brody King claims all the profits for the t-shirts will go to this charity that helps Mexicans or something. So Allegedly. I mean, he's a wrestler, so he could be working everybody and keeping all the money for himself. But Wilson.
Oh boy. Oh
But I
boy.
don't think today's wrestlers are good workers in that way. So he might be serious,
Maybe not.
he might be serious and give away all this money to this charity. But let's see what else happened. Then we had MJF versus Mystico for no reason. Just a match they set up last week on Dynamite. When Mystico, by the way, is the former Sin Cara from WWE. So he had a run in WWE as Sin Cara. He fucked up everything. I mean, he couldn't do a single move right there in WWE. Even Cody Rhodes made fun of him. It's
Wow.
The Sin Cara, the one who fucked up all the time, that one.
Oh boy.
And now he's back to his old gimmick, Mystico, and everybody loves him again. And he can't fuck anything up now. So him and NJ had a match. I didn't really pay attention to it. At that point, I was done. I mean, AEW manages to do something to me. No matter how bad a wrestling show is, I find some enjoyment in it, a tiny bit. Even WWE in its worst years, it was like, oh, that was okay, that was decent. The rest of the show sucked, but there were one or two things where I could say that was good, and I enjoyed that.
Okay.
AEW
And those
puts
were
me to sleep.
Oh.
AEW, no, I'm talking about WWE back in the, and that's it. I mean, not the one Pacific segment, but that's like years ago when they were horrible, like 2018, 2019, when Vince was doing his maniacal booking at that point.
Ugh.
He was starting storylines and then canceling them and restarting them again, and then the storyline disappeared for weeks. It was senile Vince. That's why I called him, because I think he would forget what storylines he booked and what he didn't. And nobody had the balls to tell him, no, Vince, we didn't do this week. We did it last week. So, anyways, getting back to AEW puts me to sleep. I mean, it drains you to watch this show. God bless Jim Cornette and Ryan Last to somehow get through these shows every week to review them.
Yeah, I mean, how do they do it without falling asleep or whatever?
No, it drains me. I mean, I've tried in my head as okay, I'm going to watch this and I'm going to review it, the way that it should. And I can't get through a quarter of the show without either turning it off or just leaving it in the background while I go do other things and not pay attention at all. So I can't really review it. Like, for example, now I don't know what else happened after that. I mean, let's see. Will Ospreay have a match? He might have.
Will Ospreay, ugh.
Because he was there too.
They were talking about how on Dynamite, literally, Will Ospreay's laying there and dead to the world, and
I had to refresh my memory, but Mercedes Moné won herself another belt.
Oh God! She
defeated Zeuxis for the CMLL Women's World Title, so now she has 7 belts. 7 from promotions. 7. Yeah, she just won another belt. That's the big thing that happened on this show. She can't put it. She refuses to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no reason for her to get this belt, and now has 7. You don't need 7 belts to prove how over you are, how much of a star you are.
I mean, but is she really a star? No. Is she really over? And that's the thing. Every time she's on, they literally lose ratings. I mean, they were at 595, and that was just an average. And they went below 400 just by the time, Collision came on. So Collision came on, and it was down to 4, under 4.
So yeah, she won another belt. That's number 7, and I guarantee you she's winning it all in and becoming AEW Women's World Champion. There's no way that she's jobbing.
Why have anyone else, right?
There's no way that she's jobbing to Toni Storm in this match. 0 chance in hell, especially since she's been Mercedes Hogan basically and refusing to do jobs straight up. There was a narrative out there on dirt sheets that is oh well, Mercedes was willing to lose to forget her name. She's on Ring of Honor. What the fuck?
Yeah, but I don't remember her name. Yeah,
the black girl is on Ring of Honor TV.
Yeah, but I can't think of her name right now.
Yeah,
it'll pop in my head.
Yeah, she was allegedly willing to lose to her but Tony never used her. Again, I think that's a lie put out there by
Yeah, I think
Mercedes
that's
people
just
because it's like, oh no, I mean, I don't want to have this reputation that I refuse to do jobs, so let one of my people put out this claim in the dirt sheets that I was willing to lose to whatever her name is in Ring of Honor, and and so Tony didn't book it, so it's not Mercedes' fault, it's Tony's fault, trying to throw Tony under the bus there a little bit. So I don't believe that for a second, though. She's winning this AEW Women's World Title at All In, and she's going to be draped in gold, like more gold than boxers carry. You've seen those when boxers entrances when everybody has a belt like this and they're all walking to the ring.
Yep.
She's going to be like that. She's going to need like 10 dudes to come out with all her belts. Very like attractive bodybuilder dudes to come out and carry all her belts. That'd actually be a pretty good idea for her, honestly, just to show how condescending and arrogant she is as a heel. But they won't do that, though. Hold on, let me plug
I
this
mean,
in.
she's not even over. She's not over. People turn her off, and
No, I
she
know she's
literally
not
is
over,
helping with
but
the ratings, and yet she acts like she's the biggest star on AEW, and she ain't even the best in the building. I think that's what I said when Cena said, sorry to go back to Cena for a second, but Cena said, "Oh, I'm the best," and whatever. And I went, "You're not even the best in the building. Shut up." I put in the comments, I said, "You couldn't even lace up Kurt Hennig's boots."
Oh, yeah. Okada defeated Mark Briscoe. I forgot about that. I did see that
They have
match.
been doing crap with Mark Briscoe. Ever since Jay passed away, they have been doing nothing with Mark Briscoe.
No.
I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he could
They
be
treated
something.
him like shit. His booking is shit.
He could be something, even though I always call him a meth head. He looks like a meth head because he has no teeth.
Right.
But yeah, I see something in him. If booked properly, he could be a upper mid card, possibly main event guy, but as a singles. But they've totally misused him. Like he's just basically a jobber now. He just goes out there and gets beat.
That's what they've been saying on Jim Cornette's show. Use this guy. He can do it. We've seen him do it.
Something with him.
They could do something with him.
I
but
could
they
do something
just
with him if I'm booking, but
right.
I'm a better booker than Tony Khan. I mean, anybody could be. If you follow wrestling for a long time and have a mind for it, you could probably be better than Tony Khan. All right, so Mystico did defeat MJF by disqualification. There's no way Mystico's doing a job in Arena Mexico, so they had to basically beat MJF by disqualification.
So Tony did he like kind of disappear after that? No one knew where he went.
Yeah,
just kind of went, woo!
Tony allowed one of his top stars to get beat by Mystico and by disqualification. It's like, don't book the match. Don't beat MJF. Like, why is this so hard to do?
Well, because Tony Khan doesn't know how to book, and now we get this bullshit con job of, oh, I'm going to take my biggest star that I have and I should be pushing. I'm going to make sure that he gets someone else over who is, nobody fucking know who Mystico is. No one knows who this jack off is. And yet MJF, everyone knows who MJF is, or, I mean, if you don't watch AEW, bless you. But I mean, it's like, I don't understand. I guess I don't get the mindset of MJF just getting people over. I mean, has he, peaked? I mean, is he done?
That's what I think. Look, I think personally that he peaked when he won the AEW World Title a couple of years ago before he got injured. He hasn't been the same since. Like, he doesn't have that fire in his belly anymore that he did before. He got his contract. He's making millions, and now he thinks he wants to coast the rest of his career. And God bless, Tony's giving him what, $4 or $5 million a year. I mean, that's great. You con Tony out a bunch of money, but I mean, what about your legacy in wrestling? You wanted to be one of the all-time greats, and now you're stuck in a mid-card faction with a bunch of black guys when he shouldn't even be there. Right. I'm not saying black because I'm racist. I mean, you know what I'm saying. No,
yeah.
I'm just trying
he's stuck with the Hurt Syndicate, and it's why he's not mid card. He is a main eventer, but I don't know. Like, I guess he's pushed himself back down the card.
He doesn't care.
And with Tony,
he doesn't care. I mean,
he doesn't care.
Yeah, you can tell he's just
it's like he's there just to get a paycheck.
Yeah, that's what he's there for.
He just shows up, gets a paycheck, and then he leaves.
Yeah. Let's see. They had a 4 million pesos 4-way match between Hologram, Leo Rush, Mascara Dorada, and Ricochet. So Hologram defeated Leo Rush, Mascara Dorada, and Ricochet by pinfall. And he won 4 million pesos, which I can tell you exactly how much that is in US dollars. And it's not impressive.
How much is it?
It's $208,611.60.
I'd ask for my shit back.
Yeah, that's how much he won. I think Tony just randomly 4 million pesos. That's a lot of money. I don't think he realized that the transfer rate makes it $260,000. It's a lot of
That's
money,
right.
but
Yeah,
it's a
it's
lot of
still. I
money,
mean,
but
it's
it's
more money
not.
than we'll ever see. But
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's not impressive when you look at it that way. But yeah, I mean that's. I didn't watch this match honestly, and the main event was another multi-tag match, a 10-man tag now.
can
So
we stop it?
we had Mercedes Monet's boyfriend, the Beast Mortos,
Ugh.
Death Riders, John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta, and the
And the
Young
Four
Bucks
Horsemen
defeated the Ops, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Kadoshuri Shibata, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay with Prince Nana by pinfall.
Right.
So,
And
so
Jim
we
was
had
talking about this, and it sucked. It really sucked.
so there are over 10-man tags. There were two on this card.
Mhm.
It's like Tony just like, I don't have enough room to book everybody. Fuck it, put them all in multi-man tag matches. Doesn't matter. I mean, get everybody on the card.
Is
It's
this the
one of
one
those
where that
things.
guy bit down on the thing and it was like spewing blood? I mean,
That-
literally spewing it.
Wasn't that Omega a couple of weeks ago?
I think somebody was doing it. They were talking
Yeah.
about it on Jim Cornette, and I was like, "Ew,
That was
really?"
Omega did that.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't believable because honestly, if you lose that much blood, honestly, you need to be at a hospital or we reading his obituary.
He'd
It's
be
fake
dead.
bullshit. We don't do it, please.
Yeah, it's he'd be dead. I mean, honestly, that's what I said. Is like if he's bleeding internally that much, he's dying. Like you need to not just sit there with a camera and film that. You need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
But it wasn't real, so that's why it's it exposes how bullshit this is. So let's see. We did that. So yeah, I mean, All In is looking god awful. Like, how do you mismanage a WrestleMania card or a potential WrestleMania card like this? I mean, I can't get over how bad this card looks. I mean, there's only 3 matches listed for it, and the pay-per-view is less than a month away. It's July 12th.
Yeah, All In, right?
Yeah, it's
tell
a
me
month.
the matches.
Again, it's the AEW Women's World Title match between Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné.
Oh, right. And you were saying Mercedes, she's not going to do a job. She's so
no
getting
way.
this belt. Yeah.
Yeah. John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page for the world title. And Kaguya Okada and Kenny Omega are going up against each other in a winner-takes-all unification match for the inaugural AEW Unified Championship, which is apparently going to be a second world title that Tony wants to use. So you got to have 2 world champions on the card now. So that tells me that Moxley's retaining this belt because he's creating a second world title. It's kind of like what WWE had to do with Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns was champion for, at that point, almost 3 years.
Right.
And they created a second belt.
So they're having like a Raw belt and like a SmackDown belt.
Yeah, that's what it seems like Tony's doing there. It reminded me of that. It's like he basically they claim that it's going to be like a second world title.
Oh,
so
man.
That tells me Moxley's probably going to retain this belt because Tony's like, oh, Moxley going to retain, so I'm going to need another world title to justify.
Dick the Boozer and the Boar Horseman. I just love when he says that. I just laugh every time Jim says that. I'm just like.
So that's all that's listed, and we're looking at All In being like what, 4 weeks away. Like, how are you going to build out a card in 4 weeks? A card that people care about, at least. I mean, you can build out a card within an afternoon, but are people going to care about it? Like, no. So those are your matches. I wouldn't be surprised if you got to give a babyface a win, though. So Omega might win this match, but because the other two it's obvious that the heels are gonna win. So, yeah, this is not. I could book a better card sitting down while I'm eating dinner, like randomly looking at their rosters, like this guy, and this guy. Like I just do it right now. Bobby Lashley be the world champion. He'd be facing either Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs. The women's title match. See again, the women's division, other than Tony Storm and Mercedes, there's no real stars there. Everybody, basically, Tony jobbed them all out in order to do this dream match, of Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné. So you're gonna have to do that match, but I wouldn't be happy about it. If I had my choice, I would do Megan Bain versus Tony Storm and have her win the belt and have her lead the women's division forward for years to
So
come.
I've heard that literally she is like equivalent to any of like Rhea Ripley almost. I've heard for Brian Last anyway.
Yeah, she's like 6 foot and like 109. She's huge. I mean, and hell, I would do. I don't really even like the timeless Tony Storm gimmick. So if I could get rid of Tony Storm, we'd probably do Camille versus Megan Bain and have that be women's world title all in. Booked properly and pushed properly, that would be a match anybody wants to see. And I would do the Kaguya Okada Omega match because that's some fan service for the AEW supermarks because they love those Japanese type matches. So give them that, make them happy,
All right. Fair enough.
So you got to do fan service, even though I personally wouldn't want to see this match in a million years, but you have to do some fan service, because even though I'm trying to build a new audience if I'm booking, but at the same time, these are the original audiences that came in when Cody and the Bucks were first there and Omega, the Elite, So now the only ones left pretty much are Omega, the Bucks, and Hangman. Cody's gone, and most of their stars are gone to WWE, so there's not much left here. So if Tony were to let go of the book and let somebody real take it over, there's a chance to save AEW still.
Yeah, I mean, but I just don't see Tony Khan letting up.
No, he's not letting go. He's not letting go. But
and it's going to remain shit because it is shit.
Because, I mean, I don't know who's out there, who's available, because most of the bookers that are left are in WWE. And they're on the creative team, either in NXT or on the main roster under Triple H or Shawn Michaels. So,
right.
Oh, did you hear Undertaker wants to be on the creative team? Like he's trying to wean his way into the creative team.
No.
Yeah, then he confirmed it in a podcast. He's like, "Yeah, I want to be a part of the creative team. I've been attending some meetings, but he's not officially a part of it yet because his excuse like, well, if I'm not 100% in, I don't want to be in it. So I have to be 100% in." So it's like he's angling for a job in the creative team. He's doing all these podcasts. It's kind of like
over here going, "Hey, I want a job. I want a job.
He's angling for a job on the creative team. You could tell. I mean, he's attended 1 or 2 meetings, but he wants to be a full-time gig, basically. He's like, well, I mean, I wanted, if I'm not 100%, I don't want to go. I want to go all in. So, no pun intended. But
yeah, I mean, this is not.
He's angling for a job in the creative team. So
okay.
And there's some people joking around. Oh, if Undertaker gets on the creative team, Gunther is going to be a champion for like 3 years because Undertaker really loves Gunther. So it's like,
oh please, let CM Punk or let Karrion Kross be champion, please, really, please.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, so, yeah, Undertaker wants to be on the creative team. Right now, I mean, it seems like he's angling for a job in the creative team, but at the same time, it's like Triple H is getting all of these kind of these not leeches, but there's all these sharks surrounding him trying to take his job.
Yeah, I heard someone mention that. I think it was at WrestleMania or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know something. There's rumors that The Rock is trying to take
Yeah.
over Triple H.
The Rock
Triple
is
H's job.
trying. The Rock is trying to install his lackey, Brian Gewirtz, as head of creative. But since WWE is so hot right now, the TKO executive is like, yeah, that's not happening.
But they
He's
only see it as like a money bank.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, whatever can
It-
sell the highest,
basically,
That's why they took the thing from New Orleans. They took
yeah,
WrestleMania from New Orleans, and
basically as long as TKO is making money with WWE, Triple H
hand over fist.
is not going to be removed as Booker for now.
Make it rain, right?
Undertaker's coming into the creative team. He's one of those old school sharks. He might be angling for that job too. And
Well,
Shawn Michaels, he's in NXT. He's head of creative there, but ultimately he does answer to Triple H. So even though he's head of
yeah.
creative in NXT, so
And Triple H unfortunately answers to The Rock because he's on the board of directors. So, but Rock is off doing his thing. Let him just worry about Hollywood for now. Forever.
I don't think he cares about WWE right now because he has this dream project with Martin Scorsese. He's doing the movie of Martin Scorsese, so I don't think he really cares right now about WWE. But he will care again when he's out of work, pretty much in between projects. He'll be back and he'll start an angle and then never disappear, never come back again, like he did with the Cena and Cody thing.
I know that they were saying how they want Cody to knock Cena off because he took the belt. Cena took the belt at WrestleMania, and they want to see Cody take the belt. But I think if Punk took the belt even for like a second, I think Cena would be like, "Whoa!" Like they would have to turn him heel or babyface again because it's like you see the error of your ways. You don't have the belt anymore. I guess, or they could keep him keep him a heel, and he can go out there and just be like, whiny little bitch. That's all I want to say about Cena right now.
Yeah. So that everybody on the internet loved that promo. I watched it and it was like, well, it feels like a ripoff of Punk's promo from 2011.
And it didn't even sound right. I was just like, wah, 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 wah. I was just like,
I wasn't that impressed with it either because everybody was so impressed with the promo. It was like, this is the best promo Cena's cut since turning heel. And I'm like, okay, let me check this out. I didn't watch SmackDown Live, so I looked at it and it's like, he ripped off everything Punk did in 2011. Punk, point to point.
Who had just gone through a table and selling it like death. He's like, I thought he was asleep. I thought, shit.
No,
that must be awesome.
Because the context behind that was Cena got put in 2011. Cena got put to a table by either Edge or somebody, and then he was laying there while Punk came out in an Austin shirt, sat down, in Indian cross style, and cut a promo on him. That became the famous Pipebomb promo, which made Punk into a superstar at that point. Meanwhile, that's why Cena they said something similar. They put Punk to a table, and then Cena sat there and cut a promo on him while he was selling the table shot. So it felt like just kind of like a ripoff of what they did 15 years ago at this point.
I thought it was the dumbest thing. And then he kept saying, stars from AEW, and I went,
yeah,
really, Cena? Just because you didn't go to AEW, you weren't trying to make it better. No, you went to Hollywood and totally bombed out.
Yeah,
nobody watches your fucking movies or TV shows.
And it's something Punk did in his promo. At the time, AEW didn't exist, but he was like, he looked at the camera. It's like, oh hey, hi, Colt Cabana. I was his old friend, and not friends anymore. There's a lot of drama there, but at the time they were still friends. So that's why Cena did that and shouted out Claudio
Castagnoli.
Yeah, Claudio Castagnoli, Matt Cardona, who was Zack Ryder in WWE, and somebody else. I forget who it is, but
Nemeth.
Yeah, Nick Nemeth, who's in TNA right now.
Mm-hmm. Who's also, he was like suing. Wasn't he suing Jim Cornette?
Nemeth, I think he's suing AEW. I'm not sure about Cornette though.
I thought he put like The Rock and Jim Cornette in that lawsuit. I could have sworn I heard Jim Cornette talk about it, And when Jim Cornette got done laughing about it because it was so stupid and dumb, yeah, I don't know. Like I thought I could have sworn like they were a part of that law. He was a part of that lawsuit.
I do remember he's suing what's his face? He's suing AEW. Oh, by the way, talking about suing AEW. There's a production assistant who's suing AEW too. Did you see this? I think I may have tagged you in it. John Moxley assaulted and shoved a production assistant during an AEW pay-per-view, and is on camera. And according to him, it wasn't supposed to happen. He wasn't told, and he got severely injured, and he has mental anguish and damages, and now he's suing Moxley and AEW. So,
wow,
it's like why are you shoving production assistants? They're just there doing their jobs. I mean,
AEW goes out in crowds. I mean, they go out in the crowd and then they start fighting people. I'm like, really? That's like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. It's just that's so dumb. All right. Alex should be on any minute, so we'll probably be rolling over to the other platforms that we're on. I'm going to, since we are discussing Goldberg's retirement match earlier, we're going to go to a couple of clips of his quote-unquote best of moments.
Ugh.
And then we'll go to the other clips Alex have, and then we'll go around I got to start wrapping up around 9:45, 9:50 because this is not my computer, as I've talked about yesterday on the show, so I do have to give it back to, who owns it, so my mother, so it's what's going on here.
Thank you, Mama Rivera.
Yeah, so, hey, Indy.
Hi, Indy.
Yeah, we'll be, and if you guys can, and only if you can, my donation link's in the description box below. Anything helps. I really need to get a new computer ASAP, so every little bit helps. I got a donation yesterday, which was greatly appreciated, and every little bit helps. So if you can, my donation link's in the description box below. So check if you're able. I greatly appreciate it. So I hate to bring this up because this is not wrestling related, but it looks like I was right. And in fact, it was a lot sooner than what I expected. The United States has formally bombed Iran, and now we're about to invade it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure you've seen this, but
yeah, and it makes me physically ill because I mean, here we are again. Just like I said yesterday, we're gonna step into World War III, and guess what, guys? We're gonna own nothing, be happy, and eat sea bugs. So I mean, what they do over there, they will do over here. They will start bombing poor people. I guarantee it. Hear me now, quote me later. They're gonna do it.
Yep. So
now we're in World War III, and welcome to the party. Sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've formally bombed and invaded Iran. So that, and in fact, I was like, I'm looking at X throughout we were talking, and it's like, what the hell? I mean,
well, I saw Snow post it first, and I went, this is what this one guy was talking about. His name is Sean, and he was part of. I mean, he would go too far because I mean, some of it just didn't make sense. But he had a people's voice, and he would talk about how Chomsky or someone similar would say, no, it was not Chomsky. It was the guy who did Marx, Karl Marx. He actually wrote in his book that the elites will try to make this all normal. So war is peace, black is white. I think Jimmy Dore mentioned this as well. They're going to try to convince you that it's okay to be a pedophile. It's okay to have war. War is peace. Black is white. Up is down. They're going to try to do this, and they have done it.
Now, Trump is going to address the nation in an hour at 10 o'clock.
Ugh.
And according to Trump, he has no plans for additional U.S. military actions inside Iran, which is total bullshit because I'm sure there's going to be more bombings they have to do later. So He's going to address the nation in an hour. If it's interesting, I'll cover it Angel in the afternoon on Friday. If not, we'll just talk about the war in general anyways, because most likely we just started World War III. So we'll see what happens. So I think, quite frankly, my show is going to be turned into Iran-Israel coverage from now on. So unless something else happens that needs to be discussed. But yeah, so let's get out of that discussion. We'll talk a lot more about that on Friday. So we'll go to excuse me. We'll go to clips. So check out the go to the other platforms. Have a nice weekend, or a nice week rather, and we're gonna see you Friday for
And
Angel in the
remember,
afternoon
nobody
at
beats Mr.
7.
Perfect. Nobody.
And yeah, that too. And what was I gonna say? Oh, pro wrestling talk. Are we doing pro wrestling talk on Saturday? Because the Saudi event starts at 1. So if you're able, we should be able to do it at 8 o'clock as scheduled.
Yeah, I will be at work for most of it, so I'll try to catch it in between. But
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'll be able to inform you of what happens. But yeah, unless you want to watch it and do it on Sunday, but you let me know. I mean, one way or another, we'll let you guys know. We'll figure it out. But hope everybody has a nice week and see you guys later.